Good afternoon again. Same people, huh? A couple new faces. This is public notice. Regular session, mayor and city council meeting, 6 p.m. Wednesday, 1st, city council chambers. I call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance and remain standing for invocation, and it will be Mr. Dilly will do us the honor.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our most kind and gracious Father in heaven, we are grateful to be gathered together this evening to conduct the business of the city of Nogales. We're grateful for our elected officials and the time that they put in to deliberate on these important issues. We're grateful for staff and for our community at large who is interested in the well-being of this community. And we pray, Father, that Thy Spirit will accompany the decisions made tonight, that those decisions will be in the city's best interest and according to Thy will. We ask Thee to smile on this community and continue to bless it, that it will see promising tomorrows, and we do so in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mr. Yes? Item number 4, call to the public. We received one form. Manny Lopez. State your name, your address for the record, please. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, city staff, and guests. I got some more good news for this month. Our VFW unit here in Nogales is ranked #1 throughout the district of all the VFWs in Arizona. And of course, the most important thing is that we are part of the community. We have a requirement through our bylaws to serve the community. The reason we got this award is because this is what we've been doing this last year. We provide our facilities for fundraisers at no cost to the fundraisers. We also provide scholarships for worthy students. And we've come out with the new rules that have been authorized by the U.S. Congress as far as the Blue Star and the Gold Star, which you were a part of, Mr. Mayor. And of course, we also, unlike before, we recognize December 7th. They will live in infamy, and you, Mr. Mayor, were FDR, and you did a pretty darn good job. These are very important recognitions that we need to do, and to give credit to those who really fought and lost their lives. We have a bunch of them at our wall here. Part of our membership are employees here for the city of Nogales. We also have a city councilman who is the commander of the VFW. He got an award as the commander, the top commander of the district.
Did he get reappointed on Sunday?
Yes, he did. We let him go for another year.
Then I can go to the next meeting?
It's just something that we feel that we had to mention because we are part of the community. And again, our goals are to serve the community. And we just want to show everyone that we are hopefully one of many good things that are happening here in Nogales. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Good job that you're doing up there. And I also want to thank you, Commander.
Thank you, Mayor.
Is there anybody else on call to the public? No? Okay. We'll continue with item number 5, Mayor and Council's report on current events. Councilman Diaz. You
Okay.
start off with you.
Okay, let me start off with April 6th, BFW and American Legion cleaned up the veteran section of the cemetery. Thank all the guys that went out and helped out. It turned out really nice. After that, we went and had breakfast at El Zarape. Compliments of the American Legion and BFW. So, April 9th, Councilman Parada and I met with Bob Woodbreaker from Senator Flake's office concerning Veterans Affairs and problems with the IOI and other things problems that we have, and they promised to support us and help us out from Senator Flake's office. April 5th, I came here, as a matter of fact, to the presentation of the Cinco de Mayo princesses. April 13th, we had a Rio Rico band fundraiser dinner dance at the BFW, which I was there for that. And on the 17th, I'd like to thank the Home Depot and Jorge Dion for donating materials and labor for the porch at the senior center. They went in and fixed the porch that was pretty bad, so they redid it, turned out real nice. So thanks to Home Depot and Jorge Dion, they fixed it for us. April 18th, I attended the Chamber of Commerce. They had a mixer at Kibo Sushi, and they were giving the grand opening there, and they gave us some sushi, rice, and it was pretty nice. There was a few people there. The 19th, I attended the Dominguez Jazz Festival, and that was a good event for the city, and it brought a lot of people out. Brought a lot of people from Tucson, Phoenix, and it was great, and it was real nice to be there. I stayed there till everything shut down, so.
Good representation.
Very good, yes. April 25th, I attended the Junior ROTC award ceremony at Nogales High School, which American Legion BFW gave awards to the ROTC kids. And on Friday, Mr. Kissinger and myself replaced the MIA flag here at City Hall. We put a new one up. And thank you, John.
With the help of the fire,
Yeah.
the fire department helped us.
Oh, yeah, they loaned us
Marshall.
Exactly. April the 25th, I attended a meeting over at the Wildcat Silver Mine along with Mayor Garino. And it was an update on things that they're doing and stuff, so I'll let the mayor comment more on that one. All kinds of stuff. And the 24th was the official presentation of the Cinco de Mayo candidates, and went to the auditorio of Nogales, Sonora for that one. It was a lot of fun, it was a blast. And our chief here took us, so we're in good hands. April the 26th, International Trade Summit, Rio Rico, hosted by Segal. That was very interesting. There was a lot of information put out, a lot of promises to help Nogales and the southern cities. That was good. Oh, I'm sorry, and April the 26th, Cinco de Mayo festivities at the auditorio. There was the 26th, not the 24th, sorry. April the 27th, there was a fundraiser held at the BFW. It was a fundraiser, and BFW sponsored it with free use of the post hall, the event for St. Andrew's Clinic. And April 27th, I also came to the Santa Cruz Parent Love Connection. They had a picnic back here at the Achea Park for kids with autism and Down syndrome, and it was their get together. It was real nice. They had a lot of good food. April the 28th, as our comrade Manny Lopez mentioned, BFW Post 2066 received the Most Outstanding Post in District 7 award. And I'm really happy about that, and all our members are. And today in the morning, we went to the pre-grand opening at PetSmart, and that's all I got.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilman. Busy guy. Vice Mayor, can you top that?
I can't top it. I think I did 3 or 4 of them, but I let Mr. Councilman here go ahead and give a rest.
Okay, okay, I won't put the dates on it, but I attended that program that she put up at Rio Ricos. I thought it was the most important gathering we have had so far. It's one of them that we have to continue to keep the machine going. And I attended the Governor's Affairs. The meeting was very interesting to talk to the lady from the Port of Entry, PR lady, and we had a good discussion on border crossing, so she couldn't do anything about it. And we had a lot of complaints, concerning our tax, sales tax. And then we gave some awards to the ROTC program of Nogales High School, that's the Air Force. Then we went to Rio Rico the following day to give 2 awards to the ROTC, from the Army ROTC. Then we went to PetSmart this morning, a tour that we had before the grand opening. And I went to the Wildcat meeting that they asked us to attend. And we had a long discussion with them. And I think we came out almost in an even score out of that session that we had. So that's what I got.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Councilwoman?
Yeah, I attended the Santa Cruz Superintendent's meeting, and it was to promote the Fiestas de Mayo event. I also attended the International Trade Summit at Rio Rico by Sigo. There was a movie projection at the Consulado Mexicano, Chiapas, the Heart of Coffee. And it was really a good event to promote Mexican heritage. Then I attended the fundraiser for San Andrews Clinic at the BFW. They sponsored it, and they were able to raise $4,000 at the event. And many thank you very much for sponsoring the BFW for the event. There was also another documental at the Consulado Mexicano called Visa al Paraíso. It was really a very good experience, and I think they're going to go ahead and do it again, and I'll invite you all to participate. It's a good experience. I also attended the Nogales, Sonora election of the Fiestas de Mayo Queen. There was a presentation of our candidates here at City Hall. We also toured the fire station. Thank you, Casio. I mean, they were very happy to visit it there and to know all you did. And on top of that, you took them all the way up to the sky. So thank you. Also, we're still working for the Fiestas de Mayo event. They're going to be Saturday from 9 a.m. through midnight. You're all invited. Everything is going to be included. Food, entertainment, beer, and everything. And that's all for right now.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman. Councilman?
April 5th, attended the Nogales Marketplace. They had a tamale sale there. Same day, came to City Hall, meet some of the candidates for the royalty de Cinco de Mayo for Nogales, Arizona. April 11th, went to the blood drive at Nogales High School. April 19th, Nogales Marketplace again. On the 24th, had a little get together at Frida's. On the 26th, it was Junior Olympics at NHS. Later that day, I went with the, I went into Mexico to the Auditorio Royalty Selection for Nogales, Sonora. 14 candidates for Queen for Las Fiestas de Cinco de Mayo. After the royalty selection, we were invited to Cades by the mayor of Nogales, Sonora, and had some had dinner and some drinks, and then came back. April 27th, went to the Oportunidades Tocan presentation at the 1904 courthouse. And that was presented by Nogales Community Development and Nogales Rural Innovation Consortium. And they just showed off the services and resources that are available to the public, whether you're going to college, university, or whether you want to open up business for yourself. And then later that day, on the 27th, attended a picnic here at the park, which was for physically and mentally handicapped people and children with Down syndrome. And that should be it.
Thank you very much. Good work, huh? The members of the council. They were busy this month. Great job. Oh, mine is, I'll start with April the 4th. I attended the bullying forum. And then April the 5th, Cinco de Mayo Princess presentation that was held here. That was brought to the council chambers by Councilwoman Esther Menendez Lopez. April 6th, Serve the City campaign. And, you know, I just want to say that that was a great cleanup, Chief. The work that everybody did, and everybody that was a part of the city that were involved in that cleanup, unbelievable. It's yeah, I know it seems like you serve only just a small part of the community, Chief, but that is really showing a lot. That is part of image building, and that's good for your department, and I'm very proud of you and your employees and everybody that participated, every director and employee that participated in that day was very good. And we had a lot of constituents also working on that day. Great job, Chief. And that same day, we had the Child Abuse Awareness Walk, which this was, I think, our 3rd annual walk for awareness. On April the 10th, I interviewed with the NHS band members. On April the 12th, I had an interview with Channel 13 on our great cell phone policy for employees. I did mention a couple of things about Mr. Machado, but we'll talk later about that. Unless he saw that, it was a good one. On April the 15th, we met with Cochise College, and it's in reference to, as you know, they're going to be moving to the new building where Sykes is at, Cochise College, the U of A, and everything. So it's going to be a great campus if they're successful, and it looks, by the looks of it, it's going to be successful. And that's also image building. That is very good for our community. On April the 16th, I met with agent in charge Leslie Lawson. I will not get into that because that is a future agenda item that I'm going to bring to the members of the council, and it's something that is very interesting. April the 17th, I do it twice a month with Radio Manantial, talking about all their projects and all their pavings and infrastructural projects that we do. I usually go there twice every 2 weeks. On that same day, I had the binational coalition meeting in Nogales, Sonora, with members of their council and members of tourism to promote both Nogales in tourism and in trade. Mr. Gilly was with me at that event. April the 20th, our Arbor Day celebration. Again, I want to thank Chief Arson. That day, he participated not only on the event with the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, but also helped us with the contribution and the trees and the soil for that event. And Chief, again, thank you very much. I just want to say that you're a great example for our city and our employees, and let's just hope that that continues. And I hope that that's kind of like an aura, that it kind of sticks to the other directors. Hopefully it'll work. On that same day, I also attended the Charles Mingus Festival. Great event, like Councilman Diaz said, and Mr. Parada was there also, Mr. Hanesian. It was a great afternoon, great music, and matter of fact, we had one of our local boys be one of the top players there with his band. Great. On April the 22nd, the torch run with the police department. I was invited to participate in that, and my wife and I participated in it. And I walked 3.5 laps. That's pretty good. But that's why I took my wife. She walked 12. And somebody's got to do the rest of it. But you know what? Again, Chief, he stuck it all through. Him and the Sheriff Estrada went through the whole thing. You guys did a great job. But it was a good one. It was a good day. That same day, I interviewed with Bloomberg News about trade and about border security. And then on the 23rd, we had our first 4th of July planning meeting. On the 24th, we had, Mr. Dilly and I went to Tucson for the Transportation and Trade Corridor Alliance meeting. That is a great board that they have, a commission that they're gonna, from that meeting, what they're gonna do is they're gonna actually create subcommittees in transportation, in our political white paper, in intermodal systems and trade and everything. And those are good meetings that us as council, hopefully in the near future, we can be part of them and present those, be part of it at the League of Cities and Towns or at the AMC meetings, because they're hosted by Margie Emmerman and Director Holokowski. So it's going to be good for us for down the road. So you're probably going to be getting some of that information pretty soon. On the 25th, I attended the Wildcat Mining meeting. Very interesting, very interesting. I have very little to say, but it's very interesting. That same day, I was invited to Challenger School on the DARE graduation. I was very surprised at how many kids graduated, and all the parents that were there. Great, great day. On the 26th, we had the International Trade Summit, our second annual. It was very successful. Nothing but good words from it. Everybody that participated in it, not only the speakers, but the people that were present, came out of it with a lot of information, and hopefully that'll, like Mr. Parada says, I hope that brings more opportunities for our city in the manufacturing side of it and growth. And this is something that Planning and Zoning, the Engineering Department, and Public Works, we need to start working on that, because we can ensure that our industrial park is up to par. These people are willing to come and be part of it for our own good, for the economy of our city. So we're going to continue with that. Like I said, it was our second annual. Then that same day, we went to the Cinco de Mayo presentation and selection event in Nogales, Sonora. It was very nice. It was a great event. Not as good as last year, but it was good. And April the 27th, I attended with Mr. Diaz and Councilman Acosta, the Parent Love Connection Picnic for special needs children, and we had it back here in the Techea Park. They have it every year. And then yesterday, I had a great visit from the mayor of Kandahar from Afghanistan, and one of the representatives from Parliament from Afghanistan. And it was a very good meeting, and the interest that they have for borders, because they are also border community, and what they wanted to know about a community like Nogales was unbelievable. But I was asked by the mayor that if he went back to Afghanistan and everything was successful, if it was okay that they could promote us both together and hopefully become a sister city with Kandahar, and I said, great.
Interest from the general public relative to this next round of grants by the Tohono Nation. In your packet, you'll see a list of general areas that the nation would like to consider in their applications. We've gone through several rounds in the past couple of years without success in getting any of those grant monies. The objective tonight was to put it back in front of you as a council and to get direction from you as to how you'd like staff to kind of steer towards this next grant application. At this point, we're kind of all ears, and if you'd like, I can read to you the general categories if you don't have that in front of you. But if you don't need that and you want to just begin a dialogue, we're happy to take note and answer any questions you might have.
Well, Mr. Julia, I think we need to go in a different direction, because you can see we've tried twice with public safety and the police department. And I don't know why, but they seem not to award grants in that direction. And the last time we received something from the Tohono O'odham was for the $150,000 that we received for the education side of it. So there's two ways we can go. I believe that we might be successful in receiving some funding, and that'll be in education and health. And in the health part of it, I think if we write our description of our presentation for that on the application, indicating that health will not only be per se for hospital-wise, but what I'm saying, health and the recreation side of it. And if we could get some opportunities like we had in the past with the health and wellness program that was presented by the state of Arizona. That's what I think. I don't know. It's up to you. Yes.
You know, they also mentioned their cultural and environmental, whatever. So my concern originally, since the very beginning, is to ask for a cultural arts center. Of course, asking is just asking, but I do know that they consider cultural events a lot. They give them a priority. So to me, it would be a cultural arts center.
That's where the $150,000 that we got, that we still haven't done anything with it. That was going to go for that and education. That's what we received this. And this is the thing. We received $150,000 and we still haven't done, we didn't do what
They were
we
supposed
were
to.
supposed to do. So we have to be very careful, you know, especially if, I don't know if they ask or will they ask in reference to that money, or will they ask, you know, because I know that their concerns in education and health is also very, very, very good. They, you know, they put the money out. It all depends. It all depends, you know, what direction. Maybe we can explore all those avenues. Yes, Vice Mayor.
I think, you know, we can piggyback those 150,000 and ask them for something else. You know, I'm always very impressed going across the line. We went to the Cinco de Mayo at the theater there. I mean, you know, I think it's time that the city of Nogales considered having its own. I mean, we're always having to borrow the one from the high school there, the Bud Clark Performing Arts Center. I mean, it's time we had our own deal. And, you know, I do know there was some people there that were starting something in Kino Springs. They want to start some deal. Whatever happened to that program?
Well, it's still there, but I think their main concern is probably if there's any going to be any growth in that area. But I know Mr. Dixon is the one that presented that.
Well,
and they did. I think they have some of the money.
As far as I know, they have $500,000.
Yeah.
And I think they were looking for a piece of property in Kino Springs, but that didn't pan out the way they expected. So somewhere they have $500,000. Maybe with the 150 we have, and maybe with something else that the Hodom Nation would come in, maybe we can start our own. You know, and I'm sure there's property owners here that could donate a piece of property for something like that. And again, it could be that, could be an amphitheater, could be whatever. But we have to have our own. We just can't keep saying we're going to borrow it. The deal there with Mingus was nice at the hotel, at the bank there. But I mean, it could have been in our own. It could have been in a separate situation. The Mingus deal is not really going to get any bigger unless we have a home for it.
Yes.
And so I would say, I would like to see if we could piggyback the deal with $150,000. Maybe talk to the people with $500,000, talk to some property owners, and the Hodom Nation, and we can name it after them.
Yeah.
Right? The Hodom Nation Performing Arts Center in Nogales, right?
Our proposal would be a lot stronger if we could indicate that as part of the proposal, you were willing to give some of the property for it.
You are, huh?
I've often said that I would a piece of property back then for an amphitheater. But there are a lot of pieces of property I'm sure people would donate around town for a bigger deal, right? I mean, you know, if we can't get enough money for a really big deal, well, maybe an amphitheater would do, right? But I think it's time we had our own. I remember in past times when Marco Lopez was mayor, we had the little deals out here in front, that we had the music or we had a movie or whatever, but we really didn't have our own place to go. You know, seems Nogales doesn't have its own little deal, and this could you know, really move the community and get everybody out to where they're staying home, right?
Yeah, it's a
So
good idea.
I would like to see it for use for a cultural deal, for a performing arts center, or anything like that. And I think the Indian Nation has sponsored that in Tucson and Phoenix tremendously.
We have to be very careful how much we ask for it.
Yes, you know, we gotta ask for $500,000 anyway. You know, and if they come up with that, I'm sure we can come up with more money from different grants, right?
You want to ask for
And that would be and that would be something that we would leave here and would be here forever,
Yeah, forever.
right? Forever. But we have to have our own deal. It's about time. I mean, you know, even if you go to other communities
Even a
in
small
California, small communities, they have their own centers, right?
Anybody else?
Well, there is property adjacent to the Hohokam area
Yeah,
that we can, you know, we can start exploring.
yeah, that we could use for something like that.
Right.
Sure, and not only there, I mean, there's, people will donate in many other places,
Yeah.
right? You know, why? Because that would help develop that area too, right?
So the-
Well, if these are all great ideas, you know, right now we're just throwing ideas out. I would, you know, if the cultural center would, if it's too much money or anything like that, I would say put, you know, ask for a grant for vocational training for our kids at school. You know,
And
have
that's
some
why,
kind of vocational.
that's why education is very good too.
You know, that-
Because they, very seldom somebody will say no to an educational opportunity.
We would train our kids to learn how to work with their hands, learn how to, you know, those that aren't gonna continue or further their education, you know, teach them how to
Vocational.
work vocational. We need that here, you know, that,
Good idea.
you know, teach the kids how to work.
Sure, Costa?
We've been needing one for a long, long time. In fact, if you could get something larger and make it like a social club, they could even have, rent it out for parties and celebrations, prom. Let's get some money into it. And,
Like a convention center you're talking about?
more or less, in a smaller scale.
Mr. Joe, you got some points? You guys, you have something to share?
We were strategizing on, you know, maybe if there's several good points that the council can get behind, it's just a matter of prioritizing those. Because I'm having a difficult time seeing that, we couldn't submit more than one.
We can.
Well, I can't find it in here that we couldn't.
No.
It does identify on page 6, it says indicate whether the entity has already received a 12% distribution from the nation, and the date that was given. So, you know, I'm sure that we indicated that in the past, and you know, in the back of my mind, I wonder if that goes in, you know, if that factors into the decision-making process. But some of you have indicated you have, you know Mr. Norris, and he's only a phone call away. I wonder what benefit it would be to, you know, reach out to him and kind of test the waters on what's really of interest to the, you know, to the nation. If we can find a match to that, you know, given this list that you guys come up with tonight, then maybe we just go that direction.
I'm gonna schedule myself to talk to him.
And also, the idea that we can piggyback what they've given us, they've already given us, but it's not enough to do,
No.
you know? So they've already gotten us money for something. I mean, maybe they will piggyback it, and I'm sure that in their minds, knowing that we've been saving the money for something that would really be worthwhile for everybody, I think would help us tremendously. And I think we should go over and talk to the North.
Yeah.
John, do you remember how we did it?
Yes, sir.
Remember? Do you want to show us how we did?
No, you don't have to do that, John.
Convention center would be real good.
Yeah. Well, let's do that. Let's keep it in mind. How much, what's the time, how sensitive is it? The 30th, is it?
Yeah.
30th of this
Must be
month?
postmarked no later than
No.
June 14th.
The
June
June
14th.
14th.
So we have a month and a half.
So we've got this, we have an idea about, you know, supporting the performing arts, whether that's a performing arts center or enhancing a location as a performing arts gathering, maybe an amphitheater or something along those lines. On the educational side, we have a specific suggestion to maybe enhance the vocational school amenities here in the community. Anything else like specific?
Now, they are downtown at the old Foxwood building, they're gonna be doing the vocational program there.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, to a certain extent, that'll be taken care of, that they're working on it. Again, you know, the cultural deal, especially if we play up the cultural deal of the Hohokam Indians in Santa Cruz County and in Nogales.
You know, Mr. Machado, why don't you start working on the paperwork for Mr. Hanesian's property?
Donation, you get a tax break.
You promised,
Come
Duval.
on, you promised.
It's there for the use. If we can get more and it be bigger, I'm all for it.
Look, you can't beat it, taxes, I felt
Yeah.
$10.
That would be perfect, yeah. It's there for the taking.
It'll be prepared by tomorrow.
It's 4.5 acres, so that's, you know.
Estaba something grande.
Yeah.
It's in the details.
It's got the formation for an auditorium.
Yeah, it's already got the
For
natural.
an amphitheater, it's already formed. by
Yeah,
an
build that
amphitheater.
convention center and then we can even get revenue out of it.
Yes, and again, for the Mingus deal, I mean, I hope to God we have a beautiful performing arts center like the one in New York, but we're not gonna do that, so.
We can make it just like the one in California and Los Angeles and Hollywood.
Yeah, the Bowl, the Hollywood Bowl, and that's what we should have.
Así es un amphitheater.
Because of our weather.
Está perfecto.
And we've already got our first deal is the Mingus,
Uh-huh.
the 5 de Mayo, 4th of July.
Está saliendo.
The Afghans.
You guys will plan a meeting with Mr. Norris?
Yes,
and-
I'm gonna call him next week. I'm gonna visit him.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you
I'm
very
gonna call
much.
him next week. But I'm gonna go by myself, I'm not gonna take nobody.
Take John.
I wanna be
Take
successful.
John. No, take John.
John, you can go with me.
He knows how to do it.
Go to Cells?
Self. Yeah, I'll call him.
Take Mr. Machado's plane.
Why don't we all go?
Why not? I'll take Newbar's plane.
Okay, so, okay, we're gonna go to item number 7. So Jude, thank you for putting this up right now so we can have enough time to do this to the Dono and Umkan.
Yes,
Because I think, the month and a half will fly.
I will, really quick.
We need to get money this time around. We've failed 3
Yeah.
times already.
And the deal putting in there that the property will be donated, whether it's mine or somebody else's, there's a lot of people that will donate the property in town, right? So that would be a big plus for
Yeah.
Nogales, that would be donated and the Indian Nation wouldn't have to absorb the property value.
Yeah, perfect. All right, then we'll go item number 7, consent agenda, items from A through D. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A through E.
A
through E.
E?
E.
Oh, yeah, okay, good. Let's get my page here. E. Got a motion?
So moved.
Thank you very much. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, aye. Orders, number 8. Consideration possible action of order number 2013-05-043.
So moved.
Thank you very much.
Second.
Discussion?
Any questions for staff on this?
This- That's why we have discussion. Is there any question? Yes.
Is this gonna save us money or?
This particular action, if taken tonight, is budget neutral. It doesn't save us money, but it does set us very well, in terms of looking to the future. I know that Mr. Contreras is here and willing to just take a few minutes and explain it to you in terms of how this positions the city looking forward. Mr. Mayor, maybe council?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jose Contreras. I'm the MIS manager. The item that you have before you is it allows us to upgrade our internet bandwidth from 3 megs to 40 megs, and that's quite a difference. We're experiencing issues right now with some of the software that we have, the Google apps that require the internet. The software they're using here on the meeting iPhone 2, it requires the internet. So, and the training, the HR department's been having difficulty using their biz library. And so when we started looking into upgrading the software, first we were looking at 10 megs, but we decided, because we found enough savings, like eliminating some lines, that some radio lines and some T1s, that we could actually offset the entire cost to go to 40 megs. So, and to give you a little kind of a example, the Public Works Department was trying to transfer some files to an engineering firm, which was about 5 gigs, which is just a lot of DVD sites. It would have taken 4 hours to send that over our current connection. Actually, 8 hours over their connection, but now we've upgraded the fiber optic between the two sites, so it would be 4 hours. But with this new connection speed, we would be able to do it in about 18 minutes. So it's going to be a real benefit to us. It benefits every department, and it should take care of us for at least 5 years. Any questions?
No, thank you for your hard work.
Just members of the council, I think this really positions the city very well as we look to the future. There's a growing expectation by the general public to do more and more online, whether you're paying your bills or you want information. And not only that, there's a growing expectation, given the example that Jose brought forward, for professional entities that we deal with as a city to do all that electronically and not necessarily by paper via snail mail. So, you know, it makes a lot of sense to, you know, to look forward this way, and I was just really grateful that Jose was able to find a budget neutral solution to the problem that we were looking at, and I think it really serves us well as we do look tomorrow.
Good job. All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item number 2, consideration possible action of order 2013-05-044.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Discussion? No?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 3, consideration possible action of order 2013-05-045.
So move, and I wait for a second for discussion.
Second.
Yes, second.
Discussion? Mr. Baran?
Right, legal, could you give us a little rundown of how we can work this out?
I'm sorry, but which one are we talking about?
Number 3.
Oh, well, I don't know the procedure that's gonna be set up by staff, but I guess the first step would be to identify the property, set some priorities on it, because I think we only have $50,000 to work with. And then once we identify the property, then we have to send out certain notices to the property owner and then follow those steps. If one property could wipe out the whole $50,000, so that's why we're gonna have to establish how many we're gonna address and how many we get response to our notices, and then those that are left will use the funds that we have available.
So it's only 50,000?
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Mr. Machado, I mean, we could send out 20 notices, and depending on the reaction, I mean, out of 20, maybe 2 people will say, yeah, we'll clean it up. And then we're left with whatever we're gonna look at. We'll look at the remaining deal. Hopefully, maybe 50% of the people will react and do something, right? If not, whatever property, are we looking at condemnation proceedings on the property, or what are we looking at?
Well,
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially, I mean, that'd be ultimately, if they don't respond to the notice, and if that's what we decide to do, then it'll be, well, it may not be condemnation of the whole property itself, but it may be actual work by the city, either to demolish it, clean it up, or whatever. But it could very possibly lead to condemnation, but I don't think that's what we contemplate under this. it's more cleaning
Yeah,
up,
getting it cleaned up.
demolish.
But it could lead to that if we don't get our money, right?
Well, not to a condemnation, it could lead to a lien on the property and perhaps a foreclosure on the lien.
Okay.
Condemnation is, you know, statutorily available as an option to municipalities, but there are other remedies, and you like to exhaust those remedies before you consider a condemnation situation.
There are a few homes that are really destroyed to the inside.
Yes.
They boarded up, but to the inside, they're falling apart. I walked with someone.
So this action tonight by the council really gives staff and legal tools to move forward with some of these properties that you're talking about. You also took action under the consent agenda to establish a board of appeals, which is
Yes.
also very key and important to
the
this
same
whole
thing.
process. So I think we're setting the stage so that we can actually be more effective in taking the action that you're expecting us to take. It's just tonight's procedural step by mayor and council is important for us to be able to move forward with that.
Especially those 4 houses on the corner east and Portres.
And downtown, I mean, there's downtown all over by Veracruz or even over off Perkins, I mean. Crawford.
But just
Crawford on Noon Street.
keep in mind that that's not the legal test under the abatement ordinance, that it looks bad. It has to be a
It has to be-
dangerous
Yes.
nuisance.
Yes.
So-
It has to be dangerous that if it falls or creates something for the neighbor or something, that, especially that one house on Nelson,
Yes.
the one there
Yes.
next to the Shannon, that's
Yes,
falling
that
apart.
house that's falling
We've
apart.
had that issue for how many years, Joe? Several years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been brought to
that'd probably
legal
be
several
number
years.
one
Yeah.
deal there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it could also be considered a health hazard. Not only that, you know, it could create havoc if it falls, but I mean, there's houses out there, I mean, when you go there, I mean, the cockroaches are everywhere, right? The rats are everywhere. I mean, so it could be a health hazard, and that would be another reason to try to fix it. Asbestos.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
Mhm.
we'll proceed with it. All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 4, consideration and possible action of order 2013-05-046.
So move.
Second.
Thank you very much. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Tilly, you have that look.
You're good.
All right.
Both of these are long awaited, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
so, you know, it's just a matter of getting these housekeeping items done and moving
Yes.
forward.
Perfect. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 5, consideration possible action of order 2013-05-047.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Thank you very much. Discussion?
This is a plan that's about 4 inches thick.
Yes.
Both our chiefs read it from page to page, so if you have any
Yeah.
questions, ask them.
Did they read it kind of like Congress reads their bills?
I don't know.
It's like Obamacare. Right?
Oh, boy. But point the camera in that direction, say it again. Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Item number 6, consideration possible action of order number 2013-05-048.
So move.
Second.
Second. Okay. Should we have a little discussion on the,
Sure.
say something, Joe?
The big areas are number 1, that's number 1, if you look at it, we modified that to clarify that it applies to vehicles. We tried to, there's certain portions of it that are applicable to our heavy equipment and so on. The big changes in section 6, which deals with the use of cell phones and other personal electronic equipment. And I set forth all the different exceptions in there and what can be used and what cannot be used. This was after consultation with both chiefs regarding the issues that had been raised previously so that they can use their data equipment, their mobile computers, and their radios and so on. And just clarified it in there.
So if one of our city employees stops at a stop sign and the phone rings and he answers it, can he just sit there and wait, even though there's a line of traffic in behind him?
No, because the other sections of the policy say that he has to obey all the traffic rules.
Oh,
And
okay.
that would be a
Because
violation.
I
of
saw one
traffic
this
rules.
morning. He didn't want to move because he saw me, man. He was looking at the phone. So there was about 6 cars behind him and he's going. He's talking.
He violated 2 sections right
Yeah,
there.
from Public Works. Pláticas que tenía. He says, if I move, the mayor's gonna see me. So those people were honking and those. He did his job, guys. He hung up and then he moved.
No, but the policy says you gotta pull off the roadway
Yeah,
before you enter.
but I'm a good mayor, I'll never say who it was. After the meeting, you're the way you see it.
Oh, no.
Remember, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
remember in Boston, we learned that if you saw something
You have to say,
wrong, you should stick
Yes,
up, you
yes.
should come out.
but I don't know.
You should
I'm
have-
protected by
They
my
had the
attorney.
attorney on there today, and he
Yeah, I
said,
have my attorney here, I'm protected by
he
him. I
said
cannot talk about
misdemeanor,
it.
but it could be construed as a felony too,
No,
so.
I can, no, my attorney will protect me.
Yes.
Yeah.
You read that on the drug report.
It was the drug reports, yeah. That's where he gets all his information. All right, okay, we'll go item number 9, city manager's report, Mr. Dilly.
You need to vote. Take a vote on it.
Oh, we haven't voted on that one. Let's get rápido. We're going, moving down. That's why we have a city clerk. She keeps us on. Thank you, thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 9, city manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm handing out to you right now a calendar. I'd like to, I'll get one for you. Sorry. Just quickly go over with you. It's a proposed schedule of meetings to take us through from tonight's meeting through hopeful budget adoption on by the end of June, the month of June. So what we have, we're going to try to get you by the end of this week a draft budget. It's using roll-up codes. There'll be a memo, a cover memo on that that will introduce that document to you. There'll be some corresponding attachments to that document as well. The idea is to meet next Wednesday, if your calendars would allow that, where we could discuss that draft budget, take input questions from the mayor and council, and then take all that input and start to draft a tentative budget. And that tentative budget we hope to be distributed to the mayor and council during the week of May 15th, giving you a solid week to be able to review that information, and meeting again on May 22nd. At that meeting, we would again discuss a budget. This time it would be titled the draft tentative budget. We would get your comments, your input on that document. We would then leave that meeting. Staff would take that information, incorporate it into the document itself, follow up with you on items that you have, questions that you might have. But the goal would be to prepare a final tentative budget for your consideration and approval at your regularly scheduled meeting of June 5th. Now, once we get to that point, that triggers some statutory requirements to publicly notice the tentative budget. We have to advertise it for 2 consecutive weeks. You'll see that on the calendar. Taking us through to the end of June, and we're proposing that on June 26th, which is the last Wednesday of the month, you would be presented with a final budget for your consideration and approval. Given that approval, we'll have met our goal to have a final budget adopted before we enter into the next fiscal year. On the surface, does that list of calendaring dates work with you as a council? it's important for us because we have to try to, fit our responsibilities into that schedule. Does that seem to work for the council?
Well, yeah, besides the 5th of June, which is our council meeting,
Right.
the other dates, what time would you like to meet?
We would
Because would it
probably,
be a long meeting?
we would probably meet like at our 3:30 time.
3:30 time, so that we can, in case we go several hours on it, a few hours?
Yeah.
But is
And most of those,
Is 3:30 acceptable to?
I don't know, how are you,
I
you?
think, oh,
Summer? Yeah, which, but you have the May ones, the 8th and the, May 8th and the 22nd. How are you doing on those? 4 o'clock would be best for you? 4 o'clock would it be, is it okay with the members of the
Or
council?
o'clock be fine.
and the thought would be, we would kind of leave this setting on those meetings and we would just do our square table down below and just have a good work session and talk through whatever's on the mind of the council relative to the budget.
The rest of the members of the council, Mr. Parada?
I might have a problem with the 8th, but might not be here in town on the 8th, so
Okay.
maybe check it out. If I can come in later or.
Or before.
By what time?
We could talk either before or after and get your comments and input on that. I think it's really important that you're able to weigh in. So there wouldn't be any action taken on the 8th.
Yeah.
It's just a discussion. So,
Yeah, because if you're provided the summarized budget, that'll be on Friday. You'll have an idea and you can, if you're not here, you can highlight some stuff and probably give it to Mr. Gillian. We can talk about this.
absolutely.
Is it okay with everybody?
Mhm.
Are we okay with the schedule? Mr. Diaz?
Yes,
Are you
I'm
okay
fine.
with it?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
So
then
do I-
we'll move forward.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
So I'm sorry, it'll be the 8th, the 15th, or that's just?
No, the 8th and the
just-
22nd.
22nd.
Yeah, I highlighted the dates that would actually be a meeting. The other was just informational, that's kind of internal. A lot has been said about the Trade and Expo, the summit meeting that was held last Friday. I just wanted to acknowledge Aaron White's effort. He was an active participant on the planning committee for that. In talking with ACOS and SEGO, he sent me an email just praising up and down the effort of Mr. White. And I know a lot of the work that we do is thankless, but I take the opportunity to thank him for making that such a success for our community.
Ditto on that. Sorry I didn't mention it on my report, but I had it in the back of my mind. Great job, Aaron. Thank you very much.
I wanted to let you know that we.
Joe,
It's
Joe, can we do something about that?
Is that the Drudge Report?
See, he's not paying attention to your report, Mr. Dillon.
I know.
We're losing him. We're losing him, Mr. White. We're
Should I
losing
stand
the
up on the
rest-
desk?
Yeah. Please, go
We
on.
want-
We're looking at the back of the
You know, something else we forgot to report, not report, but to congratulate the paving of Baker Street.
Oh, yeah.
I think we.
Yes, but.
I'm sure
but we
Mr.
can't
Dilly was gonna
stop
talk
now.
about.
No,
We can't stop now.
Wait.
We want to know by tomorrow, the next street
This is,
within a week.
Mr. Mayor.
Let him finish
this-
his
this-
report.
This is my report. You had your opportunity,
Yeah.
Vice Mayor.
Your report is dragged on too long. We need to move on.
I don't think so. I'm just starting. We're happy to report that we finally heard from the vendor on the garbage truck, and they've indicated that we'll shortly have a test truck to come down and work our streets. It's a side load option just to see if it would work or not. We're still kind of in the discovery phase. So as that happens, we'll make sure we give council an update on its success or its failure, one way or the other. I needed to talk to the council about the House Bill 2111. House Bill 2111 is the TPT tax, where the state is saying, okay, for those cities who are self-collecting cities, and Nogales is certainly a self-collecting city. We really have we're really going to be put in a position where we have to make a choice whether to work through the state's portal, or to give up our authority to self-collect. It's not going to really hit us until the year 2015, but this is stuff that's happening at legislature right now. The use of the portal, the purpose of that is principally for companies that are franchised and have many locations across the state or with multiple jurisdictions. We have several in our community that fall into that category. It really is meant to serve them. Instead of having to, let's say that we've got Walmart here, Walmart's in every other community across the state. Instead of having to fill out 80 different sales tax forms, they can simply just fill out one form for the portal, which is online, pay one big fee, and the portal segregates that into each of the different municipalities that are participating in the portal. So I asked the league today, well, is there a fee for using the portal? The answer is going to be yes. They don't know what that fee is going to be. They speculated that it would be 30 cents, 35 cents in that area, in that neighborhood per transaction. And that wouldn't be a fee that the business paid, because then that wouldn't be business friendly and it would hurt economic development. The fee is going to be paid by the participating municipalities, okay, per transaction. And so the reason why the portal even came into existence is because there was an effort by the state to force municipalities that were self-collecting to stop that and have to go to the state for the state to collect that, the sales tax. The fact is that the portal was approved, and municipalities are going to have to decide at some point in time whether it's more cost, whether there's a cost advantage or a benefit to participating in the portal, or giving up your authority and letting the state collect on your behalf. We're not at that point yet, but I wanted to give the council an update in terms of what's really coming down the pipe and how that might impact us. If we choose to participate in the portal, it really is not going to have much of an operational impact for us. It'll have a cost impact on us. We will still be able to self-collect. We'll have the same kind of workload. However, if that cost is so much that we feel like it's not advantageous to us to do that, and we move out of the portal, we basically forego our authority to self-collect, which would have an operational impact on us. We have a couple of FTEs that are tied to the sales tax collection today. So if that goes, then we'll probably lose a couple of jobs that way. Okay, so it's going to have to come down to what's in our total best interest. And again, we're not at that decision point yet. I just wanted to let you know what was happening at this stage.
Mr. Dilling?
Yeah.
Is this the bill where they gave the example of Salarita? Where the contractors would go there to the city, and they're saying they're going to build 100 houses, and a percentage of what the value of the house they pay as a sales tax to the city of Salarita. Is this the same bill?
Part of this bill has to do with that, and I gave you guys earlier this week an email that the league put out in opposition to part of this bill, which has to do with this construction sales tax. That has obviously larger implications for communities like Salarita and Marana, Gilbert, Chandler, Surprise up in the Phoenix Valley. But yeah, every municipality would be affected by that.
Now, Josh, do we have that when somebody comes in and let's just say they're building a warehouse for $1 million? Do they pay us the sales tax up front?
I would have to, Jeanette, do you know on that?
Or when
I know that we have a construction sales
the
tax.
building permit, do we collect the sales tax there?
Or is he not the guy then?
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members. Yeah, the way it works is the contractor doesn't pay the sales tax. The end user pays. So once they sell it, that's when they report the taxes to us.
What do you mean the end user?
will be the end. When they're building the warehouse, for example, they will build it, and then when the buyer buys the warehouse, then it's when the sales tax are paid, and then reported to us.
Okay, because the builder will go out there and he will be buying wood, and he will be buying air conditioning units and everything, and he's not paying sales tax.
No.
No.
Okay, they're not paying any sales tax, okay?
Yes.
So they report, you know, like they come to me or so wherever they buy, we just keep a log that he's a builder and we got his number. Now, isn't he supposed to be paying the sales tax? When would the end user pay the sales tax? I don't understand.
When he buys the property.
When he buys the property, so he buys the property for $1 million and then he goes ahead.
And he pays for sales tax. And then the contractor reports that to the city.
I think there's more to it than.
I don't know if that's the way it works.
Like Mr. Henderson says, say the contractor builds a house or a building for $1 million. Doesn't he pay sales tax just on materials?
Yes, materials.
Just on the materials,
On the
not
materials.
on the
But
labor.
we're tax exempt. The
¿Cuándo lo
contractor,
paga? ¿Lo paga en Mac? Doesn't he have to pay the sales tax when he gets?
not right there when you buy the materials,
So-
but we're
so
tax
it's-
exempt.
Right, but when does he pay the sales tax?
Well, I don't think the contractor pays sales tax. I think.
When he
the-
sells the
When he sells the
property.
property.
Yeah.
When he
uh-huh,
sells the
the
property,
one that
he's
buys
gonna
it.
collect taxes.
Yeah.
And then he'll report
That-
it.
Yeah, because on the sale of the properties where you're gonna
Yeah.
get hit by the federal
The
government,
invoice
state,
statement,
isn't it?
But the
Hold on,
federal government
Mr. Mayor.
We're talking about the sales tax.
Just a point of order, this is, I would be happy to get to the bottom of that and let you know exactly how it happens here in Nogales.
Because the way it's explained in Sahuarita is that they take, I think it's I think it's 60% Sahuarita says is actual labor. So if it's a $100,000 home, they will be paying sales tax on $40,000. 40% of the value of the house, they say is material.
At whatever percentage the city is charging for
And whatever, if
construction
it's
sales
2%, so then they will pay 2% of
Right.
$40,000.
Right.
Which is $800, but they.
And they typically pay that at the time of building permit,
They pay that at the building permit.
typically.
And
They'll estimate a value at the time of the submittal of the building permit, and they'll pay that. How it works here is what I'm not sure about, and I'll get to the bottom of that and let you know.
Because in Sahuarita, the problem there was, Sahuarita was getting that 2%, but they were actually buying all the material in Tucson. So the city of Tucson was not getting their percentage, right? Right? The county was getting their deal, the state is getting their deal, but the city of Tucson was not getting anything. That's where the big cities are arguing that they should be getting that money.
That's right.
But Sahuarita gave an example in its heyday. You know how much money they got from the sales tax?
A lot.
$40 million
A lot of
in
money.
1 year. $40 million 1 year.
That's why they have a new city hall.
Yeah, that's why.
Just because of the construction, $40 million.
We don't have the streetlights.
Thank you, Angel. Appreciate it.
Y Joe, gracias.
Finally, I wanted to let you know that I reached out to Senator McCain's office. You recall that there was a recent letter from McCain to IBWC, the commissioner, basically drilling in on a few points and also making a point about just participating and getting the job done. Senator Flake's office was copied on that. We've since reached out from my office, as well as I know that Councilman Parada and Councilman Diaz has reached out to Congress Grijalva's office relative to this whole effort. I thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. But when I reached out to McCain's office, they had not heard back from Commissioner Drusina. It doesn't surprise me from the looks of it. It doesn't surprise anybody else. But I wanted to let you know kind of an update in terms of where we're at with that. They continue to poke and prod according to what McCain's office said, and as soon as they hear something, they'll let us know. They're also in the process, I think, of drafting follow-up correspondence with Drusina, maybe the Department of State, and whatever else needs to happen. But I'm not privy to that at this point. I just got the impression that they're working on something else. Okay?
See, they don't imagine that they're seeing it done, not paying attention to something from their senators. You know, that's why we've been, you know, not being heard of for all these years, you know.
Right.
It's unbelievable, unbelievable.
Mr. Mayor, that concludes my update to the council.
Thank you very much. See what you did? You got him mad and he was here for 15 more minutes.
I know, so we're not gonna get sandwiches next Wednesday?
No, nothing in executive session. So Martelli, have anything to say?
No, sir.
Okay. Future agenda items, members of the council. Mr. Barat.
I would like an update on the shadow ordinance. I'd like an update, like step by step, what's been going on.
And that's on the enforcement part of it?
Right.
Enforcement part of it.
Enforcement.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Where'd the chief go?
And every step has been taken, not only enforcement, every step has been taken otherwise.
Okay. Anybody else?
I would like a study session maybe as to the cameras that we put into the Hohokam
Public Works.
Public Works building. You know, maybe a study session or an idea of how the system is working and what it shows.
You want to see how many people drink coffee at what time?
Exactly. I want to see what time Cesar gets in with the donuts.
If somebody hears that we need cameras, have them be put up.
Okay. Has that been completed, that job? With the cameras?
Yes, sir.
It's completed? Yeah. Good.
I think a few of you had a chance to go and walk
I
around
did.
the building? Okay.
Well, in some areas it was not covered. Like the second floor, I don't think it's covered, the whole floor. And part of the recreation room back, it's not covered. You have to cover all this area.
How many more, we can load, what, 6 more cameras on that? 5 more cameras?
We could probably put 12 more.
On the system?
36,
On the system?
We have 24 right now,
Okay.
and I think we can go to 36.
Can we put one in each one of the directors if they're asleep? Come on, Mr. Dilly, answer that.
The answer is no.
No? Okay. Okay, anything else in future agenda items? Mr. Leonard? Mr. Costa? No. Anything? Okay. This meeting is adjourned.